What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Horseshoe. I am Matt Beer, your host, and today we are talking about week 1 of the NFL. We're going to give our predictions, and we'll talk about a little bit of news too. So I'm going to introduce our guest real quick. First off, he's back. It's Papa West. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, Matt. I'm glad that my outrageous predictions for the 2020 season did not make you freak out and kick me off of the show. So I am glad to be back. And it's snowing here in Wyoming. So it's
Hey,
crazy.
and it's only September. I don't
Yes.
like hearing that. Can you guys please let us know? Like, just make it disappear.
I'll try to keep it as much as I can for you.
All right, thank you. I would appreciate that very, very much. Next, we got somebody who doesn't really deal with snow, if at all. It's Maddie G. How are you doing, Maddie?
Hey, it's the opposite end of the spectrum here. It is 113 degrees today. Yikes. But football starting, so that means we've got baseball, soccer, hockey, football, and NASCAR going. Is the world actually going back to normal?
It looks like we're getting back to normal, surprisingly. It seemed like a month ago things were going to get canceled, and here we are. We had college football happen like 2 weekends ago, technically. And then,
Yeah.
I guess today's Monday, so this is going up Wednesday, but we had Navy and BYU this weekend, ACC, SEC,
I
not
was
Big
just
Ten.
watching that game.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
watching
Not
some of
Big
it too
Ten.
before
Yes.
I watched up to 30-0 or 31-0. So,
Mhm.
oh man, I am very
They finally
disappointed in them.
scored, though. Navy finally scored.
Hey, there we go.
Yes.
See, yeah, it's weird because Navy's always scoring they can score like 56 points on almost anybody, it seems like, but their defense can't hold anybody. Now their offense seems to have disappeared. But no, we'll talk about a couple of stories real quick before we get into the week 1 predictions. We'll go by first game to the last game of that week based on what's on the NFL website. So we'll start with Houston and Kansas City, and then we'll end with Titans and Chargers, or Titans and Rams, I think, and actually, or
Broncos.
Titans and Broncos. Titans and Broncos.
Broncos.
Um,
God damn
there
it,
we
Beer.
go. Look, I
Uh,
didn't have the schedule pulled up to where I could see it.
But
But you know what?
wait a minute. We're talking about Tennessee here. Why would I, of all people, not know who they're fucking playing? I
Oh,
mean, let's be
they're
real.
the rednecks of the AFC South. But now, let's get into some of the stories real quick. Let's start with the trash of the AFC South, as we have Jacksonville completely just rebuilding themselves to an XFL team this year. Obviously had Ngagwe, or however you say his last name, get sent off to Minnesota, making the Vikings defense more powerful. You had Leonard Fournette just being cut, and then your coach, saying, "Oh, we tried trading him. We tried to get anything we could get. 5th-round pick, 6th-round pick, 7th-round pick, and nobody wanted him. Just kind of
That's got to tell
taking
you
them on the
something.
way out. Yeah, say we're trying to build a culture here, where
Yeah.
we love our guys, but if we let you go, we're going to clearly show everybody that we never
We're going to
liked you.
stab you in the back and
Yeah, we're going
say
to
that
make you
no one
look as
wanted
bad as
you.
possible. It's like, I mean, Doug Marone's going to be gone after this year anyway. So, there's that. So Jacksonville, don't worry. He'll be gone and you'll be in London at some point. And then we have
So
the
wait, so they're going
safety.
to be owned by the Rock? Are you saying that the Jags will be owned by the Rock by the end of the season?
I mean, look, anything's possible at this point. He wanted to be in the NFL.
I mean, if you're going to make the XFL joke, we might
Yeah.
as well run
Look.
with it.
The Rock probably has enough money to where he could be like, screw it, I'm going to buy it. That'll be that. It's 2020. Anything will happen. He'll buy them and put them in the XFL. He'll figure a way out. I don't know. Maybe he can give them like the Battlehawks or something, which, I mean, that's a better trade, I think. Get St. Louis back for NFL. So that'd be that.
Yeah.
And then Harrison, I can't remember his first name. Safety out of Jacksonville got traded to Cleveland for a 5th-round pick. So basically, it's Gardner Minshew and a bunch of nobodies and people from the stands. The reason why nobody's going to be in the stands besides a few people in their home opener is because they're playing on the Jacksonville Jaguars. So there's that. So yeah, what do you guys think about Jacksonville right now? Just, I guess, completely just giving up on the year already.
I mean, there are some amazing things happening in Jacksonville, but that's AEW. Nothing to do with the NFL team. I do want to make a comment though of the Buccaneers pulling the Bill Belichick
Yeah.
and signing Leonard Fournette like right after he got cut. So maybe it wasn't the Patriots who were evil. Maybe it was Brady. We'll see though.
Maybe.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna add to that one though, because Bruce Arians was trained by by Belichick. He was a
True.
part of the Belichick dynasty. Plus, look at oh God, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it already. Look at Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel. God, I can't talk tonight. He does the same thing, man. When somebody hits the market, he's like, I'm gonna cut this guy, and I'm gonna bring you in. That's the Belichick way. No, it's no ifs, ands, or buts. But I mean, if you've got Tom Brady and Gronk, I mean,
yeah. I mean,
all you got to do is pick up the phone and go, "Hey, it's Tom Brady. Want to play with us?" And they're gonna go, "Where's the money? Show me the money." To quote the great Jerry Maguire, "Show me the money.
and
Show me the trophy."
Yeah, show me the trophy. But I do believe the Buccaneers signed him in time to keep him on his rookie deal, like just to take over that, because I think they had a certain amount of time to wait until they could just sign him for whatever. But I mean, if it's a 1-year deal, that's perfect for them, and that's perfect for him too, because if he wants to return after this year, which I'm sure he will, then he's going to have an opportunity to resign, maybe get a little more money, or I guess depending on how everything goes there, maybe sign for a little less. I mean, there's people that were willing to take like $6 million less if they were able to get out of Jacksonville. So it's almost like Miami last year after that first game against the Ravens when they got just destroyed. Everybody was like, "I'm out. I'm done. Trade me." Like Mika Fitzpatrick and some others.
But we've only seen it one time, and it hasn't been with either team, of a player retiring at halftime.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Yeah, the Bills do have that. I don't.
Yes.
Matt,
I don't think anybody's going to get there.
Matt, how
Hopefully
does that
not.
comment make you feel?
About that, okay. When I heard that the first time, I thought that was amazing. That somebody was like, you know what? I played one half this year. I'm done. I can't even do it.
Yes.
It's like I'm done.
How it is. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, he just went, got in the locker room, grabbed the stuff, and just walked out. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm retiring.
And all the coaches
left everybody like,
where are you going, bro? I'm done.
It's like, what are we doing?
It's like, who plays next? Excuse me, do we do men up here? But who's there to go up?
Yeah, but no. I mean, now Buffalo's in a much better spot now. I love their head coach. Always looks like he's gonna cry whenever you see him on camera. Always has that face like he's about to cry. I love Josh Allen. So I mean, they're fine. I guess they didn't need him at this point, Davis, but I thought that was awesome.
They started doing a lot better after he left too. So
yeah, so maybe he was the problem.
Yes.
So and maybe he knew. Maybe that's why he retired. But
and then you've got the quarterback that retires, after the first preseason game.
True. Well, or third, if you're talking about who I think you're talking about, the third one. But you know what?
I was trying to soften the blow a little.
I caught that.
You gotta go there.
I caught that. I caught that. And your thoughts. I mean, you guys did only go 1-12, or no, 0-12 against this guy. So we'll get into that.
But he still got. Oh, I forgot. It hurts to get hit. Oh.
I mean, look.
And then they have a better season without him.
Actually, they didn't.
No, I mean,
they were 7-9. Come on, with him playing, they made playoffs. So there's that. I mean, you gotta think about it. You had Ryan Grigson, the clown Ryan Grigson, and if anybody says Bill O'Brien is the worst person to ever be in football, you're wrong. It's Ryan Grigson. as far as managing a team. He was awful. Like, he had a couple of good draft picks, but a lot of the decisions he's made, like, I'll give him this. Andre Johnson, Frank Gore, looked good. Didn't know how to use them. He kept Chuck Pagano, which I understand. You don't want to kick a guy out like right after he got, cleared from cancer. Like, he fought cancer, defeated cancer. You can't just fire him after that. Because if I was him, you got to keep your serious.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, you'll just be looked at. Well, with him, yeah, you know what? Screw it. Let him go because everybody thinks Ryan Grigson's a douche. But whatever. Let's get into speaking of your sad Titans, the Clownies. Jadeveon Clowney. He hasn't signed there yet, but it's expected. And when this goes up, he might be a part of the Titans. He might have signed his deal, which he's got to sign like in the next day or two, right? So he can play week 1.
Rumor is the day after cut day is when it's looking. Which
that was Saturday.
Well,
so
well, first game is what? Sunday? Thursday? Sunday?
Monday. Very first game of the season is Thursday, but
their game is Monday.
Yeah, it's Monday night, final game of the week.
But isn't cut day?
No, cut day happens Saturday because
that's right. Because you're right.
Yeah, because usually you'll have cut day, and then like Sunday, Monday, maybe Tuesday, you'll have those guys that were cut get picked up by other teams that think they'll need them and whatnot. Whether other guys on their roster are on IR, or they're just on the practice squad.
And there's a major elephant in the room that can really screw things up. I mean,
true. Yeah.
One person gets COVID, half of your team's hitting the bench. So
yeah, it's like as soon as COVID happens, they're done at least for I think it's that week. It might be a few days to see if there's another positive test because it could be false positive.
Some sports are requiring 2 negative tests on 2 consecutive days. So, and they wait several days.
Yeah, because if it's like a Saturday or whatever, and you have your first test and it's positive, you're done. You're not playing that game because they're not going to risk it. There's millions that are on the line, so they're playing it really safe on that. But
if you do play literally a contact sport, every single person on both teams are going to come in contact with it. You're looking at shutting down two teams. That's not going to happen.
And 52, and you think about it, 52 guys per team, and then you've got coaching staff and training staff. Mm-hmm. God forbid they have actual fans in the stands and people around. That could be really bad.
Yeah. Well, I do know there are some teams that are going to let fans go into the stadium for week 1.
But Jacksonville will.
Yeah, Jacksonville's one. I can actually pull up the teams that are going to actually allow fans in stadiums because there's a few.
Last I heard, Arizona is not because we have it's a retractable stadium, so we've got a dome stadium, but still,
right?
I mean Jacksonville. The Jags are owned by the Khan family, who own AEW, who already has fans in the stands, so they're going to have some.
Right. So
all 3 of them.
I believe, this was posted September. So the teams, it looks like, that are going to allow fans are the Colts for week 2 because they're away this week. Tampa Bay, Carolina, Arizona, Cincinnati, Buffalo, San Francisco, the Rams, Chargers, and the Jags.
That's funny because the governor just shut all kinds of
not Los Angeles, sorry, because I don't think Los Angeles is allowing anything to be open. They're just letting them play. So
I don't know if Arizona's going to allow fans because we just went back into
true.
All those restaurants. Now theaters just opened again.
Okay, so maybe But if they do, and none of these are going to be like filled, sold out, not even 50%. Like Indy, I can tell you, is going to allow 2,500 people, and that fills a lot more than that in Lucas Oil.
Yeah, we're looking at 20% capacity as the max.
Yeah.
More likely 10%, pretty close to.
It honestly depends what the state allows, and then NFL has their limit, and then if it's less for
Okay,
your
I
state,
can answer the Arizona. The Cardinals will not have fans at the first 2 home games of 2020, which would be that would be week 2 and week 3.
Right. So there's that.
So we will not have Arizona will not have fans in the stands until week 7.
Okay. So
At the earliest.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe this will still continue. Maybe Arizona will still be like in the situation they're at as far as like what step they're in. So maybe they'll allow people, but there's a chance, depending on what happens, they might not allow any fans at all, like for the season. Which, honestly, if the state has a lot of cases and it's continuing to, kind of be around where it's at right now, it might be best not to have fans at all, which would suck for the Cardinals. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You'll have workers.
It suck for
there,
everybody.
Yeah, you got to.
Would it really though? I mean, people are still getting paid. I mean,
right?
Like the vendor. You do realize that most vendors at football games are basically independent contractors. Like you go, they hand you a shit ton of money, and give you a thing and say go. Right. And then when you come back, they do all the measurements and shit. If it, they'll tell you how much money you've made.
True. Maybe they'll do what a lot of those carnival people do. The people that make fair food, where they'll start selling their products on like the side of a road or whatever, and be like, "Hey, if you want some Coke, buy some Coke here."
Yeah. Not that kind of Coke.
Yeah, no, not that kind of Coke. Just the liquid Coke. Delicious. Yes. Coca-Cola. Don't do drugs, kids. But no, we can't be shut down. But no, like I went to a high school football game Friday, right on the corner on the road you would turn that would take you to the high school. They had fair food. So I bought some corn dogs, had some fried Oreos, and got a lemon shake up. That was a good day.
What was the attendance like there?
Yeah,
for high school. They filled up. I mean, it's a little less than what they normally get. I would say if 1,000 people go, there's probably 800 fans. Like I think based on what they were told, I think they had 500 to 600 people at the game. Yeah, it wasn't like completely filled like it would any other year, but it was pretty packed. Like there was nowhere you could sit. Maybe the student section didn't have as many people. I didn't get a look there, but there wasn't a lot of areas you could sit where nobody was around you. So it was like you had to sit by people. And then I was, I had my mask, so I was like, whatever, I'll wear a mask. I'll sit here. I'll be fine. I don't think I'm gonna get it. And if I do, then that sucks. But at least I am off for a couple weeks. So there's always a silver lining in everything. But let's talk about Clowney really quick, and then we'll get into week 1, and we'll start off with Houston and Kansas City. Alec might be joining us by that time if he is able to get on. If not, we'll just continue, and he'll probably just send his picks into me. Because what we're going to do is we're going to keep track of how many times you got picks correct, and then we'll figure out something we'll do for the winner at the end of the year. But yeah, I guess Maddie, you should be the one talking about Clowney because it's expected that he's going to the Titans unless he pulls a McDaniels type thing where he backs out at the last second. So what are you thinking?
DeAndre Jordan when he said he was going to sign with the Mavericks, and then like 2 days later, no, I'm going to stay with the Clippers.
Well, let me pull that back up again. If I'd have realized it was going to be on me, I'd have left this up. I'm going to go. No, I've got it. I've got it pulled up. I'm going to go to Sports Illustrated because, well, I love their All Titans thing because, well, go. So they released the wide receiver, centerman Cameron Batson, which really he was waived. He wasn't released. He was waived. Which doesn't really surprise me.
Right.
He didn't really do much last season. He's expected to the free agency defense, defensive end, he'll come to contract terms with Tennessee over the weekend. Who agreed to contract terms over the weekend.
Yeah.
He will clear COVID protocols on Tuesday and will be allowed to enter the facility. Then when he does, he'll sign and he'll, start fitting in. Mike Vrabel.
DeAndre Jordan did the same thing. So
yeah,
it might happen, man. He might just be like, no, I'm going to go somewhere else.
No,
I'll go back to the Seahawks.
Fuck that noise. We're not going to have that again. But Batson actually went to. Where did he go? I don't remember. He's been on IR all last season, anyways.
Right.
But he says hopefully we can meet him here and try getting him building sometime Tuesday to work with him and being in the installation. Mike Vrabel also said hopefully based on where he's at physically, try to start practicing with the team. So he may not play in the upcoming weekend, but what really surprises me is that means Tennessee already has 5 wide receivers. A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, Adam Humphries. So, I mean, yes, Davis was cut on Saturday to release to 53 players, including Clowney. So I'm excited. I think it'll be definitely an interesting. Do you want to point out that Mariota's on IR?
We can talk about that really quick. I mean, we
want to point that out because Matt, at the beginning of last year, I was hyping up Marcus, and you went, he's going to get hurt and sit out the rest of the. Yeah, I'm going to be that guy that goes, well, when it rains, it pours. I'm excited to see Clowney fit into this because I think he'll fit pretty well. He's a big guy. He's, he can be physical, which is what Tennessee's defense is. I mean, yes, we all know their offense. They're going to hand the ball, and the big boy's going to run.
Yeah.
What works. They got him 1 game from the Super Bowl.
True.
One thing you have to look at, though, he didn't have great stats in Seattle, but he had a lot of intangibles. He was getting doubled and tripled, which allowed for a lot of other players to get in and disrupt. So he's definitely going to be a big fit in there. He's definitely going to help out that defense.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Tennessee needs is from time to time they kind of struggle because we're one of these teams. We're going to run the ball down your throat, which means yes, the defense sits a lot of the time on there. But we're Matt, you can attest to this. Our division is kind of one of that smash mouth football divisions.
Yeah, it's even the Colts last year, and it's looking like, especially with Jonathan Taylor going to Indy, Colts are a run first team, but at least, they had, like, before he got hurt, Brissett could come in, he can throw some balls when needed, and he can get you the win. Then he got hurt, and he had an injury that involved the foot that was most important, who was, to give him that power when he was going to, kind of twist the throw. And then I think it looked like he was just scared after that. Now you got Rivers in there, which, talk all you want, talk all the shit you want. Last year, he didn't have a good offensive line. He didn't have Melvin Gordon for those first 6 games. And most, if not all those games were like 7-point or less losses, like the ones they lost. There might have been like 1 or 2 that it wasn't like 7 points or less, like maybe against Kansas City and whatnot. But now he's got no line, so they're probably still going to be that run first offense because you got Jonathan Taylor, big boy. and you got Marlon Mack, you got Hines, and you got Wilkins, who all of them can get you 100, 200 yards a game. But yeah, and really Houston's the one that is more throw it, but now they lose Hopkins, so
and
who
they
knows?
got,
And they don't really have a great running back.
but they well, I beg to differ though.
He's
David
been hurt.
Johnson, he has been hurt quite often, but the problem is obviously I've watched a lot of his games. He's
Mhm.
scared to put his foot in the ground anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he
So
just
if they build up his confidence, David Johnson is a hell of a running back, but he's not hot.
maybe I don't know. Maybe Bill O'Brien was secretly a genius, and we're all calling him an idiot. Maybe he made the right decision because I did like the uh, offensive lineman they got, Toure or whatever. I did like him. Um, didn't help them get to a Super Bowl or anything, but it did improve the offensive line, which made Watson better because he was always getting hurt. I don't even think he got hurt once, even if it was like a little injury where he was on the sideline. It seemed like he was able to stay healthy for the most part, and that was their problem for the first couple of years with him. But no, I mean it definitely is run first off, run type of offense in that division. But it, obviously it always comes down to quarterback. Who has the best quarterback? Who's got a quarterback that can make that play? So we'll see. But I think those are all the major stories we wanted to talk about real quick. So let's hop in. If Alec comes in, he can give his thoughts on the first game because it is his Texans going up against Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, they're coming off that Super Bowl, Kansas City is, and Kansas City pretty much kept everybody. I don't know how they got it to work with, paying Patrick Mahomes their entire salary cap, but they were able to get him. They were able to keep Jones. They signed Kelsey. They're going to get Hill signed at some point, I'm sure. Sammy Watkins doesn't really need to be paid a whole lot of money. He's one of those guys who can probably pay a couple million, if that. So I'll start off with Matt. Matt, how do you think this game's going to go down? And who do you got?
Obviously, I'm. They beat my Titans to go to the Super Bowl, so I'm going to take Kansas City. But I think it could. God, I see this one of two ways. Either Kansas City is going to come out, they're going to put their foot in the ground, and they're just going to run over the Texans, or it's going to be one of those very close games. Right. It's either or, but I still have probably by 9 points. I have Kansas City.
Right. Okay. Then we'll go to Jacob real quick. We'll get his thoughts, and I'll get mine.
Yeah. So if this was the Houston Texans that played them last year, this would be a lot more competitive of a game, in my opinion. They got rid of DeAndre Hopkins, their only offensive weapon. So I don't know who Deshaun's going to throw the ball to. He is still a beast, so he's going to find a way to throw it to someone, even if it is himself. But it's the Chiefs. They have everyone from last year. They didn't have any big losses. They're also really healthy, which it's the beginning of the year, so that's a pretty moot point. But still, I definitely do not see the Chiefs losing this one. I see them winning.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys. I got Kansas City winning this. Although I will not be surprised if Houston comes out and wins because you got Watson out there and he always finds a way to win for some reason. But he has Fuller, but Fuller gets hurt every year. So who knows if he can stay healthy in this game. Now he's your number one guy. So you really are relying on Fuller on the receiving end. If not, then you're kind of screwed at that point. But Kansas City has everybody coming back. They're coming off of a Super Bowl. They're going to come in. They're going to come in like on fire. Patrick Mahomes, I don't see dropping. I only see him getting better, which is scary. So I do have Kansas City winning. But I think it's gonna be by like 7 or it could be less than 7. Because you can't count Watson out. he'll put that team on his back, and he's good enough to where if they lose, they'll lose by like 3 to 7 points. So that's what I'm thinking right there. And that will kick us off for the NFL finally. When this goes up, tomorrow's the day. But now let's get into the Sunday games real quick. We have the Eagles playing against the Washington football team. I really wish they would have had a name by now, so I didn't have to call them football team every week. But here we are, the Washington football team versus the Eagles. Since you are our, resident Eagles fan, I'm going to go to you first, Jacob. Who do you got winning between the Eagles and the football team?
Soccer teams do it all the time, where they're just the whatever football club. But it's definitely a lot weirder having an NFL team, just the football team. So definitely, hopefully they get an actual name soon. My personal bet is they will have a name before they get their first win. Since it hasn't happened yet, I definitely don't see them. I don't see Washington upsetting Philadelphia. One thing though that does need to be said: Alex Smith is back, which makes me a little scared. It's going to take some time though. One thing with everything that's been going on, it's going to take teams a while to get that chemistry going, since they haven't been together like normal. So I don't know if Alex Smith will start playing immediately, if he plays at all. If he does play, though, it's definitely going to be a little scary. But not in week one. I definitely see Philadelphia pulling away with this one.
Right. Now, they already announced that Haskins was going to be the starter for week one. But, man, I hope Alex Smith gets to start at some point. He deserves it. If he's not going to start there, just trade him somewhere that needs a quarterback. You just don't trade him to the Bears because, they'll take him, give him a lot of money, and then they'll bench him. So we're going to go to Matt next. Matt, who do you got in this game?
Okay, I'm just going to put it like this. Papa, we're teammates, right? We're brothers. You're one of my closest friends, so I'm going to say it like this. Fight, Eagles, fight! I'm going to take the Eagles, without a doubt. Without a doubt, I may bust Jacob's balls all the time because, the Eagles were the dynasty at one time, but that was 40 years ago. But against the Washington football team, I think the Jaguars could beat them. Yeah. Just to put that out there.
Yeah. Now, I look, if they're, I'm perfectly fine with, Washington changing their name. If they're going to change their name, have another name ready to go. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to have to, like I said, I don't need to see on ESPN, and here's highlights from the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington football team. It's like until you have a name, stick with the Redskins. I understand, people are pulling out.
You've been offending people so long.
But now this is offending me, and that's just not fair. Yes. But I'm going to go with the Eagles. I will say, just as a Colts fan, when Chuck Pagano had cancer, that changed the whole team. They all came together and they played, and that is very important. You want everybody to be on the same page. You don't want people hating each other. You want people, to either like each other or just be cool, whatever. I don't hate you. I don't care either way. So Washington might do better than what we're thinking this year because, I do like what they got going on. I do like, adding Chase Young to that defensive line. I think he's going to have a big year. Even if they don't win a whole lot of games, I think he's going to have a big year. He might win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, he looked better than the Bosa's coming out of Ohio State. But I just think the Eagles are too much. The Eagles are actually like my dark horse to potentially make a Super Bowl if Carson Wentz stays healthy. That's very important because if you have Jalen Hurts,
if the team can stay healthy.
True. Yeah, team's got to stay healthy. Carson Wentz really has to stay healthy because if he doesn't, I don't trust I don't have confidence in the Eagles with Hurts as much because he's a rookie. I did like him when he was at Oklahoma and whatnot. I liked him in Alabama. He has that leadership. He has the leadership you need, but he is
they
only a
did
rookie.
just re-sign Josh McCown.
True.
So just in case something happens,
he's sitting in
I
Texas.
do have that
waiting.
veteran there. Yes.
He said he's sitting in Texas. Whenever he gets the call, he'll go right over. But I did like what the Eagles did on defense, adding Slay on the cornerbacks and whatnot. So I'm gonna say Eagles win. I don't think it's gonna be that close, but I do think the Redskins will have a better year than what a lot of people are giving them credit for, because I think they're all in. I love Ron Rivera a lot. I think their defense is gonna be much improved. So there's that. And then next we have the Dolphins playing against the Patriots. Now, the Dolphins have Ryan Fitzpatrick starting as their quarterback, and the last time these two played, it was in Foxborough, and the Dolphins did win. And that was the final game of last year. Now, the Dolphins improved on defense. The Patriots had defensive players opting out that are pretty important to them, and this is Cam Newton's first game in New England, and there are no fans, I don't think. There might be a few, but I don't know if there's going to be fans for sure. I guess it depends what the state says. So I'm going to start with Jacob here.
They are having fans.
Okay,
yes.
But even with the fans, even with the fans, it's not going to be like, it's not going to be packed. It's going to be like 20% at most. So I don't think the fans are going to have as much of an impact as they normally would, because I don't think they'll be heard that loud at all.
Well, then we need to send Nikki so somebody can get hurt. Oh, I take that back.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
They just updated. No fans in attendance now.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they said for at least a couple games, but...
Well, I thought recently they said that it was a possibility.
Yeah, but... Oh, well. We'll start with Jacob, though. Jacob, who do you got winning in this game?
This is going to be a very interesting game. Like I said earlier, this is Cam Newton's first year, so he hasn't been able to build up that camaraderie with the team. And again, everyone on their defense is sitting out, except for Stephon Gilmore, who I just picked up in a fantasy draft earlier today. So I hope he does well. So I definitely see this being a lot closer than most people would think, because, of course, Patriots, Dolphins, you're going to take the Patriots in a landslide. I definitely see this being a one-possession game, but I still would give it to the Patriots.
Okay. So we'll hop the mat.
I, too, have the Patriots, but I have it 24-13. I think Cam Newton does fairly well outside. He does decently in the cold. In Carolina, it is cold. Yeah. And we all know in that Boston, Massachusetts area, it's cold. So, and the Dolphins are from Miami, so maybe they'll get up there and get cold.
Not super cold yet, though.
True.
We know that for a fact, though.
Yes.
I think, I can check the weather really quick, but
it doesn't matter. Either way, I still have it at 24-13.
Okay. So for me, this, like I said, with everything going in, you have Ryan Fitzpatrick playing, which is the smart idea. You don't want to start a rookie in that game because Bill Belichick does get the best of rookies most of the time when they first play. It doesn't happen all the time. Oh, wait, Matt.
Time. Yeah. Hold on. I just saw breaking news out of the Tennessee camp.
Oh. He
has signed.
Okay, there we go.
He has signed. Devon signed a 1 million or 1 year, $12 million contract worth up to $15 million with incentives. Signed today.
$12 million.
Breaking news on Inside the Horseshoe.
Wow. Okay.
I have something pulled up, Sporting News, and they just posted something from NFL Network. Clowney has signed that contract.
Wow. That's look. I mean, maybe this is like that 1 year, because a lot of teams he wanted like 20-something million, like at first, and nobody was going to sign him for that. And then the Browns were offering him years where he was getting paid like $18 million, which look, give credit to the Browns. They're building that team back to what they're building that team up, and they have a new coach.
I was like, what were they? Wait a minute, Matt. What were they at one time?
Yeah, they I mean, look,
they were wearing bags on their heads to the game because they were disappointed to go. So what exactly were they?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the Browns.
Hell, even Cincinnati's went to one Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, like, if we're not talking about Super Bowls, the Browns did win a championship at some point, but this was back in like 1868. So it was a very long time ago. But no,
actually, the NFL started in 1919, so it was not 1828.
Okay,
sorry to tell you that.
It's like 1921.
Oh, Matt, what's next?
1925. We'll go with that.
1925 was when they won. But no, and but I'll give credit to them. I like what the Browns did. But yeah, $18 million he's going to turn down for $12 million. That's pretty crazy. I will say for $12 million, that makes me go, I wish the Colts would have said, hey, you want to sign for $12 million for 1 year with him and DeForest Buckner together? That could have been a lot of fun. But anyway,
I
don't care. I don't care.
That's going to make week 11 even more interesting. When my Titans go to Indy, and then those powerhouse teams are that could decide the AFC.
Will Clowney give 50% or more effort when he plays games? Find out this upcoming week. All right. So we'll see. Maybe he does. Maybe he does. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, because it is only a 1 year. But anyway, back to Dolphins Patriots. You have Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I almost said Tannehill. Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's starting in this game. Good decision by Brian Flores. Defense is much improved. Corners are actually quite good. Potential to be maybe best corners of the league, maybe, with Byron Jones and whoever the other guy is. But defense has improved. You do have Cam Newton in his first game. Cam Newton's biggest problem was staying healthy because the offensive line in Carolina was never that great. Now he goes to New England, where the offensive line is not great. So I am actually going to stick to my guns of the whole division prediction. I'm going to give the win to the Dolphins week 1. It's not going to be a blowout. I'm going to say, like the Kansas City Houston game, 7 points or less. Look, I love what the Dolphins are doing right now, especially defensively. Their defense is much more improved. They basically took a bunch of guys from New England and put them on their defense. Plus, they had Byron Jones, which I think is going to help cornerback-wise. I like Ryan Fitzpatrick. Their offense slightly improved. Patriots have guys opted out. They have defensive players opting out. So I think they're going to win. And the Patriots always start off slow. They always start off slow. So I expect maybe they start like 1-3, 2-4, and then they pick it up. And then they go on that run like they always do. Because when they start off hot, they don't go to the Super Bowl.
You mean Tennessee goes to New England and runs over them?
Yeah, for the first time in 50 years. But no, so yeah, I got them. I got the Dolphins winning that game. Close game, not going to be a blowout. So there's that. Now this game could be interesting. We're going to go to the Packers and Vikings. And this is in Minnesota. Minnesota did improve their defense, with Ngagwe. But they did lose Stephon Diggs. They replaced him basically with Justin Jefferson in the draft. Kirk Cousins saying, if I die, I die, showing that he is all in on football. But he's going up against an angry Aaron Rodgers who wants to prove Green Bay wrong, that he has plenty in the tank still, and that they didn't need to get a quarterback right now. So we're going to start off with Matt here. So who do you got in this game?
God, this is one of the ones that it's so close. I'm thinking Packers by 4. I'm going to go 27-23. But God, that number could change tomorrow.
True. And the Vikings will have Dalvin Cook in too. Because
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
he did say he was going to play.
I'm going to stick with my prediction, but
Okay.
barely.
Okay. We'll go over to Jacob on who he thinks is going to win.
Yeah, so right now Minnesota is a 2.5-point favorite. So that's pretty much a pick 'em right there. This is definitely going to be one of the closest games of week one, especially the Sunday morning games. And you have exactly what Matt was saying. You have Aaron Rodgers, who is an angry Aaron Rodgers. He was a game away from the Super Bowl, and the front office gave him nothing to work with, nothing to improve. They lost linemen, they lost defense. They picked up a receiver who was like, "No, I'm going to sit out this year."
Yeah.
But an angry Aaron Rodgers is a dangerous Aaron Rodgers. But again, I definitely do see this close. I have the Vikings winning it. After all that fun stuff that I said,
Yeah.
I do think that the Vikings will edge them out. Just better offensive weapons, a better defense too. But one possession. It's going to be like when they tied last year in week 2. It's going to be right there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this could end up being a tie. You know, this really could end up being a tie, which would be a lot of fun to see. But I got the Vikings winning too. Very, very close. I think it's be like maybe the Vikings have to kick a field goal to win, but I know Aaron Rodgers is pissed because, you know, they draft Jordan Love, who will eventually be his replacement. And don't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers is not in a Green Bay uniform next year, because you might see him get traded for some draft picks and maybe a weapon that they didn't get Rodgers that they'll get for Jordan Love. But I feel like Kirk Cousins, I think he really showed people, you know what? I'm not a terrible quarterback. I'm an okay quarterback. And he's all in. He's like, if I die, I die. I don't care if I get it. Even though, you know, that's not really what I would say if I was him. But yeah, Kirk Cousins, who played better last year than he has in the past. You have Adam Thielen still there. They have kid from Notre Dame, tight end, blanking on his name for some reason. Not Eifert, but whatever his name is, who pushed off in the wild card
Kyle
game.
Rudolph.
Yeah, Kyle Rudolph. They still have him. They got Dalvin Cook. Justin Jefferson could have a big year for out of all the receivers coming out of the past draft class. And I love their defense. I think their defense is much better than last year, especially adding guys like Ngagwe, which I know I'm going to pronounce his name wrong. I don't care. But I do think it's going to be like a 3-point win for the Vikings. But yeah, it's nothing really crazy to go after, or it's not going to be anything like a blowout or anything. It might be the best game of the week, in all honesty. But next, let's hop over to I think going from the closest game of the week to probably the biggest blowout of the week. We have the Colts and the Jaguars. You know, you have obviously a Jacksonville team that pretty much traded everybody and said, "Here, Gardner, if you can get us 3 or 4 wins, you can keep the job. If not, you're gone. Here's the keys." Even though they'll probably get rid of them for like Fields or Lawrence if he drops, which he won't. But yeah, Jacksonville basically trades their entire team. Although I did see they were talking to Freeman, the running back that was in Atlanta. Don't really see him playing week 1, especially if they're just talking right now. But you have an Indianapolis Colts team who has a new quarterback with Phillip Rivers. Some notable draft picks like Michael Pittman. You have Jonathan Taylor. You obviously have the offensive line. You have Buckner coming in. This will be his first game. So I think a much improved Colts team going up against a XFL team in the Jaguars. So I'll start with Jacob here. Who do you got winning this game?
You've already said it. Colts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do we even have to spend much time on this one?
Hopefully
We
not.
got, yeah, this will probably be the fastest or the shortest amount of time we'll talk about a game, maybe ever. But now we got Matt. Who do you got?
31-13 Colts.
Okay. And I got the Colts. You're going to see Brissett play in this game. The Rivers. They'll be up like 28-0, maybe 31-0. They'll take Rivers out and they'll put Brissett in to finish the game off. I mean, look, I'm gonna love watching that game, but for everybody else, it's gonna suck to watch because I don't know. Maybe Jacksonville is basically like the Rams, were coming off a year where they weren't that great, and look, the Rams go to a Super Bowl. Yes. Maybe they'll be like that, but I doubt it.
So I always watch NFL Red Zone. Over under 8 minutes of that game is what I'm watching.
Yeah, it might be over. Yes. They might keep going back to it. It's like, oh, okay, here's another touchdown in this game. Here's another one. I have to
show you this turnover.
Now we have to show this. Yes. The mustache will not carry Jacksonville, so there's that. And Gardner Minshew stinks. Now let's go to another NFC North matchup, which is the Bears and the Lions. The Bears are starting Mitch over Nick Foles, which I don't know why, but you got that. Lions did add Adrian Peterson, and they got Matthew Stafford. Keep him healthy, and he's going to do really well, I think. So we'll go to Matt first. Who do you got between the Lions and the Bears?
Wash my mouth out with just Jägermeister for this one because this team is my aunt and uncle's team, and God forbid anybody ever hears me say this, but I'm going to take the Lions over the Bears.
Okay. So now we'll go to Jacob here.
This is going to be an interesting game because you have the two obvious last place finishers of the NFC North, but Matt Stafford always has something to prove.
Yeah.
He always carries that team. He gives it 228%. So I'm going to give it to the Lions.
Yeah.
Plus, Mitchell Trubisky is worse than Gardner Minshew.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely fighting for that last spot, I think. Yeah. There might be one other guy in there, but, they're definitely towards the bottom. I'm going to give it to the Lions, too. I mean, I did like some of the draft picks the Bears did. Like, they got the tight end from Notre Dame, who I actually wanted. They drafted him this year, and he was definitely the best tight end coming out of that class by far. But I just think the Lions are a better team. I think the Lions in the year 2020 are going to shock people. If they're going to win a Super Bowl ever, this is the year to do it because 2020 is the weirdest year ever. Who knows? This decade might be the weirdest year ever, and the Lions are going to win 3 Super Bowls. The Bengals are going to win 2, and the Browns are going to win 5 or something like that.
Please never say that again.
I mean, you never know. 2020 is weird. If the Lions were going to win it, this would be the year. I don't think they're going to win it, but this would be the year. I do like them a lot, though. I think I have them finishing third, pretty close to whoever finishes second. Because I think they can win 8-9 games this year, especially if they keep Stafford healthy. Because Stafford, say what you will about the Lions, Stafford's a top 5. Has a potential to be top 5 quarterback. He's top 10 for sure.
That's a big if, though. That is a massive big.
The guy throws 5,000 yards every year.
Sure,
but
because that's all they can do.
Yeah, but I'm sorry if. You got to keep your quarterback on his feet, though.
Yeah, they're
5,000 yards.
The guy literally threw a touchdown having a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not denying the fact that the guy's a hell of a player. But
look, I'll just say this: if I was Bill Belichick, I would have took Stafford over Cam Newton. I feel like he fit their system better that they had with Brady. And Stafford's in his early 30s. You put him with Bill Belichick, they might be going to the Super Bowl.
I forgot he was in this movie. I have a football movie on the TV above you guys.
Oh, okay. I was confused for a second. I was like, Matt Stafford, actor? How did we know?
No. I've got a draft day on. It just finished.
Okay.
And,
Yeah,
Chadwick
Chadwick
was his
Boseman.
name. I went, oh yeah, he was in that because I'm like paying more attention to what we're talking about. But I'm like,
Right.
oh yeah,
Right.
kind of want
Yeah.
But no, like,
Wow.
wow,
wow.
that's crazy. Wow. But no,
But I like the movie. That's a good movie.
I love Stafford though. You put him like I would have took him in Indy. I think he has he
I think he'd have done well in Indy.
yeah, I think he would have done as well or better than what they're going to do with Rivers, but that's because they have maybe the easiest schedule in the league. But I mean, regardless of that, Stafford, he's a top 10 quarterback for sure.
He could.
I think he is.
I think if he got the right protection around him and the right weapons, he could absolutely be a.
Well, I think if he had an offensive line that could protect him, maybe not as good as Indy's, but like in Philly or in Dallas or something like that, he'd be a top 5 quarterback.
He'd be interesting in Dallas.
Yeah,
he could be dangerous in Dallas.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think Jacob wants to see Matt Stafford on the Cowboys. I don't think so.
The Cowboys did lose some of that offensive line, so.
Okay, so maybe I don't know. Maybe him going there wouldn't change much, but no. I do love Stafford a lot. But I'm gonna give the win to the Lions. I feel like I said, I think the Lions. I said it, last week on the show. Whenever we recorded the first episode, definitely wasn't last week. I did say the Lions could be that dark horse team to make the playoffs. So we'll see about that. Next, in a game that I think is going to be quite interesting, we have the Raiders and the Panthers. Obviously, Raiders have Derek Carr as their starting quarterback. Derek Carr as their starting quarterback. You have Henry Ruggs going there, and then with the Panthers, you do have Teddy Bridgewater and Robbie Anderson going there, and it is the first year for Matt Rule. So I'll start with Jacob on this one. Who do you got between the Raiders and the Panthers?
Yeah, this is going to be another interesting game. Also, talking about that running back competition going on, Josh Jacobs and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's good.
That it's going to be an interesting game to watch. Again, just because your number one person on your team is your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina just got a brand new quarterback and a brand new head coach. So I don't know how long that's going to take.
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater is amazing. That team's going to be a great team. I definitely just see them starting off a little bit slower. So I think Las Vegas will take it.
Yes.
Barely.
Okay. Now we'll go to Matt real quick. And I wish this was at home for the Raiders. I would have loved to have seen their stadium this week, but it is in Carolina, so there is that too.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God. I don't know. This is one of those ones I'm so unsure about because the Panthers literally just got damn near a new team. I mean, from top to bottom, coaching staff, quarterback, defense. And they do not have Luke Kalicki anymore, which is definitely an interesting. So I think I agree with Jacob. I think I'm going to go with the Raiders, but I think it's going to be a 3-point game. Like, I think this could come down to a kick right at the last second.
Yeah, it definitely could go that way. There was a good point brought up by Jacob to where the Panthers do have a new quarterback. You have a new coach, and then Matt, pointed out new team basically. So it's either gonna start off real fast, which I just don't see happening, especially with a college coach going to the NFL for his first game, or it's gonna be a slow start. I'm gonna give the edge to the Raiders. The Raiders, with John Gruden, every year have been getting a little bit better. His first year there weren't good at all. Then next year they won 7 games. This might be that leap where they win 9, 10 games potentially for the Raiders. And I do like Carr. I like Carr a lot. And if I'm going to go by quarterback, that will determine the game, I'm going to give it to Derek Carr because I honestly think Derek Carr is much better than John Gruden gives him credit for because, I just don't see him and John Gruden getting along very often. And Derek Carr was in the MVP conversation just a few years ago before he got hurt, and then the team just wasn't great. And, they lost, Cooper, you lose Khalil Mack, and the team was just suffering. And then you get your new head coach, and then last year they're kind of getting back to where they were. And Derek Carr wasn't bad last year. So now you add Henry Ruggs for him, a speedy guy. John Gruden does love his fast receivers. I think that's going to help. Plus, you have Jason, tight end from Dallas. What's his name?
Jason Witten.
Witten.
Yeah, Witten. You do have him, which I don't know what that's going to do, but
and Darren Waller.
Yeah. So
Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh.
He was pretty good for him last year too. So
true. And Josh Jacobs is looking at become. He's looking like he might become like a top 5 running back in the league potentially. It's just, will their defense improve? Because that was the Raiders' problem last year, was their defense, I think. Because their defense was pretty bad last year. So if their defense gets better, they might be a team to watch out for in AFC. So I'm going to give the win to the Raiders. I think it could be close, though. I do think it could be close because you do have McCaffrey in Carolina. So there is that. And then you have a game that actually might rival the Colts and Jags for the biggest blowout of the week. You have the Jets going to Buffalo. So I don't expect us to talk about this game very often. I'll start with Matt here. You have the Jets and you have Buffalo. Who do you got on this one?
Believe it or not, this is kind of a crapshoot because the Jets have had some pretty interesting picks over this offseason. They've had some interesting acquisitions, but I'm sorry, the Bills they looked really good, and I think they're going to lift Josh Allen to Pro Bowl level this year, but I don't think the Jets can contend, so I've got the Bills.
Okay. We'll go to Jacob. Who do you got in this game?
I picked the Bills to win the AFC East. I have them winning this game. Josh Allen is a stud. They just got him Stephon Diggs. And Jacob, you've been saying it. This new additions, you're not going to have camaraderie immediately. Well, he still has Cole Beasley, John Ross III, and Devin Singletary. He still has that team around him. I definitely see this being the Bills.
Yeah, I'm giving it to the Bills too. This is gonna be a blowout. It comes down to with the Jets. I do not trust Sam Darnold. I don't think he's going to be there much longer. I don't think he's the worst quarterback in the league, but he's not good. I don't think he's good at all. Plus, Buffalo adding Diggs, I think only improves that offense. Their defense, is arguably the best defense in the league. Well, we'll see when the season starts. Maybe Miami kind of takes that leap because they did add a lot of good players on there. Maybe Indy takes that leap because they did add Buckner and Rhodes, and they did have they did draft Rhodes, who looks really good. So who knows? Maybe the 49ers stay at where they are and are still the best defense in the league. But the Jets, it's either going to be the Jets or the Jags for that number 1 spot, I think. And I think whoever lands there is going to lose their quarterback next year. So the Jets are the worst team. I think they're taking Lawrence and they're getting rid of Darnold. And they'll probably trade him for some draft value because I think you can get some, like a 4th-round pick, something like that, because there's bound to be a team that needs a quarterback. Maybe Jerry Jones gets rid of Dak and goes, I'll take that kid. I'll take that kid, Sam Darnold, over there, and I'll prove I can win without Dak. I haven't won anything at all in the last 25 years. But
that is a spicy take right there.
I don't even think Dak has signed. Maybe he did sign that franchise tag.
He did. Okay,
sign. But there's issues going on. So hey, he might be gone next year or the year after.
Going to strip clubs with oh God,
with Elliot
yeah, hey,
or
them
party or
clubs
COVID
and
parties.
yeah,
Yeah, I know Matt's frozen, but no, yeah, I
Of
do have
course.
I do have the Bills winning week 1, and I do have them winning the division still, even with Cam Newton. There's that. So now we're going to go to the Browns and the Ravens. Obviously, the Ravens have Lamar Jackson, who's coming off a MVP season. Still hasn't proved that he can do it in the playoffs, but maybe this will be the year if they make the playoffs. And then you have the Browns, who, are the Browns. We'll see if they can actually get the egos figured out. See if Odell will, you know, kind of be willing to let other guys get the ball. We'll see what they can do there. We'll see if Baker can kind of get that out of his head of, I got to throw it to Odell so many times. And we'll see if Baker can actually fix his passing, because he's very bipolar in a sense.
I was gonna
So
say inconsistent.
he's inconsistent. But we'll go to Matt first. Who do you got in this game?
Just like you said, Lamar's coming off of the MVP season. I don't really see much of a difference there. So they should be able to walk away with this. Maybe not a blowout, but
Right.
Odell Beckham's got that chip on his shoulder still. So
yeah, so you never know. Now we'll go to Jacob. See what he has.
So,
oh God, here we go.
here we go. The first week we did the show, had you had told me, Jacob, Browns Ravens, who's going to win? I'm going to say Ravens easily. But the Ravens just released Earl Thomas.
Ooh.
True.
Big defensive, big defensive name right there. It doesn't devalue their defense a lot, but they're not going to be as killer against the throw as they would have with him there. So I definitely see this being a shootout. But y'all have said it. You can't trust Baker quite yet. So I do have the Ravens winning it. I see this for the first half and then half of the third quarter being back and forth. And then just something implodes on the Browns and the Ravens run away with it to end the game.
Yeah, I got the Ravens in this game too. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. But I feel like, you lose Earl Thomas, but that defense is still really good. It really is. I do, you got Hollywood Brown coming in. He had a big year last year. I think him and Lamar will only get better together. Now, if the Ravens lose this game, it's going to be because NFL teams have figured out how to take them down, and they, the Browns do have a defensive coach as their head coach. From, I believe it was I believe it's from. Hey, look, it's Gardner Minshew without his mustache. Why did he shave it? We'll wait, never know. But he did have, I believe, former Vikings defensive coordinator. So I do have the Ravens winning, but I do think it would be closer, and this will be kind of a sign of, is Lamar going to continue what he does last year? So, because there are quarterbacks who have big years their first year, and then the following year they kind of fall off. We'll see, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Lamar's going to be who he is. So I do have them winning.
That sophomore slump could hit him. I mean,
true. I mean,
this is his third year, so it's not a sophomore slump.
Well, is it though? I mean,
it's a second year, second full season,
fully starting. I mean, he started 6 games 2 years ago, but still.
Yeah, but I'll give the edge to the Ravens. It's probably like a 7-point game or something. I kind of am on your side where I think it's going to be back and forth, but I do think that's going to be until the fourth quarter, and I think the fourth quarter is where the Ravens will pull out and eventually get the W there. So there's that, and then we go to our final 1:00 game, and that is the Seahawks and the Falcons. Kevin's Falcons. I'm going to start off with Jacob here on his thoughts. I think he hasn't sent me his predictions, but I'm pretty sure Kevin's going to pick the Falcons to win this game. That he has the Falcons winning the division.
And I mean, he's a Falcons fan. Of course, he's going to go for the Falcons.
True.
So this is actually the closest game when it comes to spread, because it's Seattle is at a 1.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
So Vegas sees this being a really close game. According to ESPN, Seattle has a 52.1% chance of winning this game. I don't know what ESPN sees that I don't, because I always see the Falcons as that team that just loves blowing it. They do have a really good offense with Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, and Julio Jones.
Right.
But the Seahawks have a really good defense. I do see this being not as close as what everyone wants you to think it's going to be, but it's not going to be a blowout. But I do have the Seahawks winning.
Okay. So we'll go to Matt here.
I have the Seahawks by 10.
Okay. And then
I'm leave it at that. I have the Seahawks, but I think it's going to be 30-20. And I think that the Falcons will choke in the fourth quarter.
Right. Kind of like in the Super Bowl.
Kind of exactly.
I got the Seahawks too. So I obviously got Julio Jones, on the Falcons still. He's going to be a problem. It's going to be tough to contain him, of course. But the Seahawks have improved on defense. You had guys like Adams on there. They wanted Clowney. Didn't happen. But I think that's fine. I don't think they needed him, to make a run and make the playoffs and whatnot. I'm sticking to my guns. They're going to win the division. I think they win this game. It's not going to be like 31-0, but I do have them winning by 2 touchdowns for sure.
Arizona's in this division, goddammit.
No, they won't. All right. So we'll go to our first 4:00 game. This is a battle of the rookies. Get on here, Bug. We get the battle of the rookies as the Chargers travel to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. We don't know what, Herbert and Burrow's going to do in NFL. You never know. They might have great years. They might have terrible years. But Herbert is not starting, so it's not a battle of the rookies. It is Tyrod Taylor starting. So you have the veteran going up against the rookie. So that actually might make it an easier decision for you guys. So I'll go to Matt on this one.
I got the Bengals. I got the Bengals, the Chargers this game. This is kind of if Joe Burrow comes out of the gate like he should be, this could be really interesting because Derwin James isn't injured.
Right.
He's not injured, so that's a check in the right division. And the Chargers are kind of rebuilding. Like, when your boy left and went to they kind of picked up the pieces. Now Tyrod Taylor's a hell of a quarterback.
Right.
But he's inconsistent.
Right. So all right. I'll go to Jacob real quick.
And Jacob's going to call me a stupid jackass and throw it right all over my parade.
I would never call you a stupid jackass, Matt. But no, I mean, you definitely got to love Joe Burrow. Watching him destroy everyone in the SEC and then going on and destroying everyone in the playoffs. I can't think of who they played in the first game, but or Georgia.
No, they played Oklahoma in the first round.
That's right. Georgia was in the SEC championship, Oklahoma, and then Clemson. Where he dismantled everybody, and he has really good weapons. I Don't trust that team yet, because again, you do have Zachary Taylor in his second year as coaching. Um, Joe Burrow hasn't been able to play with anyone. AJ Green, I don't know if he's fully healthy. I imagine he is. But then remember this name. Austin Eckler is going to
True.
be one of the best running backs this year, in my opinion. Last year, he started the first 4 games while Melvin Gordon was freaking out because he wasn't making enough money. They shipped him off to Denver, and now it is just Austin Eckler. He's one of the better running backs out there right now. He is going to be a top running back this year. And then they also have Hunter Henry at tight end, who's, when you think of the tight ends in the leagues, you think of Kelsey, Ertz, Kittle. He's definitely one of those mid-tier tight ends,
Yeah.
but is a huge asset on your team. I definitely see Tyrod Taylor being great for the first couple of games, kind of having some bad patches, and then they give it to Herbert. But no, Chargers are going to win this one.
Yeah, I got Chargers too. Speaking of Hunter Henry, he reminds me of like a Jack Doyle in the sense of doesn't get talked about a whole lot, but like you said, it's very valuable to the team. Can get you 50 to 100 yards, which really that's if you have the receivers, which the Chargers do, you don't need your tight end to get like 100 yards. You can live with like 50, 75, something like that. As long as they're blocking well, you'll be fine with that. And I do like Eckler too. Joe Burrow is going to be interesting because I don't think he's going to be bad this year, but I don't think he's going to come out and be like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think he'll be like top 20, top 15, somewhere in that area is where he'll be at. But he is only a rookie. He is playing on the Bengals. It is the Bengals. You got to remember that. They're not, the best ran organization in the league. I do like some of the guys they got. I do like Boyd. I think him and Boyd, they're basically their number one receiver last year because AJ Green was out for the year. I do like him a lot. I think T. Higgins could be pretty good too. And we'll see if AJ Green stays healthy. If he does, that's big for Joe Burrow. But like people are forgetting Tyrod Taylor, he's super underappreciated, I think, because he took the Bengals, he took the Bills to the playoffs for the first time in like 15 years. They send him off. He goes to Cleveland, loses his job to Baker. Didn't play great in Cleveland, but Cleveland isn't really
Cleveland.
his quarterback does well in. So now he goes to the Chargers. I think what you're going to see with him is he'll start the first 5-6 games, and then you're going to see Herbert come in, and then he'll have to go somewhere else. Maybe he'll go to Dallas too. I don't know. I'll just say maybe a quarterback that probably won't be there next year will go to Dallas. Maybe Brissett will go to Dallas. I don't know. We'll see. But I do like the Chargers.
That Matt has kicked Dak to the wall.
Until I see Dak sign that extension, based on what we're hearing, it's not pretty with conversations. And he wants too much.
Matt also likes to listen to Pat McAfee, who has brought up countless times. If you look at the past couple quarterbacks who have played on a franchise tag, none of them stay with the team.
That's true.
They all that next year they sign a big deal with someone else.
That is very true. So like you never know. Dallas, I just don't know. They have Andy Dalton. Maybe they'll go with Andy Dalton after Dak. I don't know. Or maybe they'll sign Dak to like a 6-year, $300-400 million. I do think Patrick Mahomes getting that $500 million deal definitely does hurt his chances of coming back. He is good. I do like Dak. But look, I'm just going by what, has been public and whatnot. He still hasn't signed. But anyway, to go back, I do like the Chargers. Their defense was injured last year. They were pretty banged up. I think Joey Bosa was banged up. A lot of guys are now. It looks like the majority of them are healthy. Not everybody. I think they lost a guy for the season with like a torn ACL or something, maybe a safety. I can't remember for sure, but most of their defensive guys are coming back. Bosa's still dominant, so I do have the Chargers in this game. Not a blowout, but I'm thinking more like 10 points is what they'll win by because
Yeah.
I just
Matt, I don't remember his name, but they did have a safety with a torn meniscus
okay.
who it was possible would come back towards the end of the season, but
Okay.
they just said season ending.
Okay. But I mean, if he comes back, great. You never want to see a guy out for the season. But yeah, if the Chargers defense can stay healthy, they're going to have a better year than last year. But yeah, their defense last year was just banged up and wasn't great. And whatnot. And we'll see if they fix that offensive line. Maybe the offensive line will play better. Maybe not. They definitely weren't great last year. But we'll go from there. Next game we'll talk about is the Cardinals and the 49ers. This game I think is going to be a lot of fun, but we'll go to Matt first on this one because he is our Arizona panelist. So who do you got in this game?
Oh God, DeAndre Hopkins is the great equalizer here. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals, but it's going to be damn close. Damn close.
Alrighty. Now we'll go to Jacob and who he's got.
This is where he calls me an idiot.
No, because this is another good one. Because right now San Francisco's favored, but a lot of people are pulling for the Cardinals. San Francisco is just one of those teams nobody trusts. No one trusts Jimmy G, which I find very weird because he had a really good performance in the Super Bowl. He had just a couple bad passes, and then I had a former coworker who always told me that Jimmy G was horrible because his favorite team, the Packers, the only reason that the 49ers beat the Packers was because Packers could not stop the run. And Jimmy G only had like 8 throws. He's like, how can you be a Super Bowl quarterback with only 8 throws? I'm like, it's great coaching. The team cannot stop the run. So what am I going to do? I'm going to run it against them.
It sounds like what Tennessee would have done. We're going to hand the ball off and we're going to throw
We're going to run it.
Yeah.
We're going to throw the ball 5 times.
Yes. So this is one of those where I just go back and forth on. Although I will say this might be Kyler Murray's sophomore slump. The fact that they got him DeAndre Hopkins, though, literally just throw it in his vicinity and he'll catch it. But I'm going to give it to the 49ers.
Before you say that, hear me out. Look at the other side of the ball, the field. Who else is he throwing it to?
Larry Fitzgerald.
Arguably one of the greatest wide receivers of all time.
Who's going to blow out his knee as soon as he tries to make a cut?
He can fuck off. Don't bring that evil in here, Ricky Bobby.
No, I love Larry Fitzgerald. I was pulling for him in that Super Bowl against the Steelers because he's a man who deserves it. And I just see the 49ers barely taking it.
Yeah. So
hold on. Let me find his name real quick.
Yeah.
Give me just a second.
Who are you looking for?
Hold on. Give me just a second. I just gotta let this page load because I've got like 5 tabs open, so I'm like, slow down, come on.
Right.
Uh,
No.
Keon Drake.
Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon, thank you. I can't believe I didn't. Kenyon Drake is fully healthy, and he is carrying the load this year. Just adding that little wrinkle to it too. So Kenyon Drake, and then on the other side, lining up on the line, you've got DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald. I'm just saying. Yeah. That's where it curved mine. Besides the fact it's Arizona, I mean, you got to root from your home team. But
yeah, I do love Drake a lot. I actually think Drake is not a top 5 quarter or a running back.
Yeah,
but like top 15, maybe top 10 potential. We'll see what he does.
I had Kenyon Drake on a fantasy team last year when he was with the Dolphins, and I was about to drop him, and then trade deadline came up, and he goes to Arizona. I'm like, well, he was in the crappy Miami, so I'll give him 1 game. And for those who do not know, he gave me like 40-plus points because he ran it down everybody's throat. I can't remember who they played, but he was lights out. He was amazing. And from then on, I'm like, Kenyon Drake is an amazing running back. But no, Matt, I love you and all, but I'd still just barely giving it to the 49ers because you have no answer for Nick Chubb.
Would it surprise you?
He's going to eat Kyler Murray.
Would it surprise you, though, if the Cardinals actually pulled it out?
No, it would not surprise me.
So you think it's going to be a close game?
Yeah.
I'll give you that. I appreciate that at least.
So this has potential to be game of the week too. Not just Packers Vikings. Because last year when they played the 49ers, the Cardinals did give them a run for their money. Like it did come down pretty much to the end of the game. Now you add Hopkins to that team. You got, Kyler Murray in the second year. The defense has improved. You added, is it Isaiah Simmons? From Clemson?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I couldn't remember his last name earlier for some reason, but they did improve on the defense. That guy looks like he has potential to be a monster in the league. So with that, and it's not very, it's pretty rare when a team that loses a Super Bowl comes back that following year and can have a similar season. Yeah, you have like New England, they did what they did, but that's New England. But, like look at the Rams, for instance, went to the Super Bowl, didn't have that great of a year last year. I don't know. Maybe they'll make a run this year and surprise some people, but they didn't look great last year. You had the Falcons, didn't really do anything last year, or the year after they lost that Super Bowl. Look at the Colts. Yeah, they made the playoffs, but it was Peyton Manning on the team. But he got hurt. He was hurt out the following year, and suck for luck began. So, it's not often when you have a team lose a Super Bowl come back. I mean, look at Arizona. After they lost to the Steelers, didn't have a great game. Carolina, same thing when they lost to the Broncos. So I'm going to actually give the edge to the Cardinals. Close game, but I do like Kyler Murray a lot. I think Hopkins is going to be big for him. You still have Larry Fitzgerald, if you say. Defense has improved. Kenyon Drake is a really good running back. We'll see what he does next year. I do like the 49ers a lot. And I do think the 49ers will either finish second or third because I do have Seahawks winning that division. It's either going to be the 49ers or the Cardinals. I'm going to give the edge to the 49ers, though, for that second spot. But just going off of last year with those games and how close they were, and then with the additions Arizona made, I'm going to give the slight edge to the Cardinals. It would be like 3 to 7 point victory for them. But I won't be shocked if the 49ers win. We'll see if they can be one of those exceptions to the rule of doesn't have the greatest year for a team that loses the Super Bowl the following year. So we'll see. Next game also could be game of the week. Definitely the game I'm going to watch after the Colts game, and that is the Buccaneers going to New Orleans to take on the Saints. It is Brady versus Breeze, first game of the year. Don't know why this wasn't a night game. Honestly, move Cowboys Rams to that spot and put the Buccaneers and the Saints on that Sunday night game. I think the ratings would be better. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. I know there's a lot of you out there, but Brady in his first game out of New England, why is that not a Sunday night football game? I have no idea. So we're going to go to Jacob here. Who do you got between the Bucs and the Saints?
I cannot stand Tom Brady. I hope the man breaks all 10 of his toes at once one day.
Damn.
It's true. It's true.
Okay,
I will
Kurt.
say that Leonard Fournette pick though was a really good pickup for the Buccaneers. Because again, he has all the weapons. He has great deep threat weapons, but he can't throw the ball 15 yards downfield. Then they pick up Gronk. Well, crap. Forget about that then. Then they pick up Leonard Fournette too. But they're playing Drew Brees, who has never won an MVP, but wants to win that MVP. I picked the Saints to win the division, with the Buccaneers being a close second. This is going to be the game that decides it. I think the Saints are going to win this.
Alrighty. So we'll go over to Matt real quick. Who do you got winning this game?
I have the Patriots 2.0 winning this game. Because let's break down not only the acquisitions that the Bucs had, but also their coaching staff. Let's start Tom Brady, arguably the greatest of all time. Arguably. I think he's a cheater, but that's here nor there. Gronk, arguably with Brady, probably one of the best duos in NFL. Coach, Bruce Arians, trained under Bill Belichick. I mean, it's hard to, if you line it up on paper, it's hard not to go with them. So obviously I'm going to pick the Bucs.
Okay. And I am going to side with Jacob. I got the Saints winning this game. I do think if the Bucs are going to become what we think they are and not the 2019 Browns, I do think it's going to take them, no matter what, it's going to take a week or two for them to kind of get everything, figured out and whatnot. Bruce Arians, he doesn't have the easiest, the way he coaches is not the easiest for any quarterback. It takes a little bit. Who knows? Because, under his system, Jameis Winston threw 5,000 yards, but he also threw 30 interceptions. So who knows? Maybe Jameis would have actually been able to have a really good year this year, because now he knows the system. I do think Brady is smarter. I think Brady is one of, if not the smartest quarterback to have played the game. So I do think he's going to learn it quick. But I do think it's going to take a week or two for them to actually figure everything out. Because you got to figure out, how are we going to play with Fournette? How are we going to play with Mike Evans, Godwin, Gronk, Howard, all these people? Because there's a lot of really good pieces on offense. They just got to kind of figure out things, and I think kind of like what New England is or was, they're going to probably start off slow for first couple games, let Brady get back into it because he is 43 years old, and then we'll go from there. Or who knows, maybe the Bucs will suck, because Brady is 43 years old. Maybe he lost it. I don't think he lost it, but he's 43. Age is going to become a factor soon. But I do have the Saints winning. Close game. Don't know why this wasn't a night game, just because of circumstance, but, whatever. Because I do think this is the game that if you don't have, any of your favorite teams playing at 4 o'clock, this is the game you're watching, for sure. So that is going to conclude the 4 o'clock games. There was only 3, oddly enough. So there really isn't an option. Really, you can either watch Chargers Bengals, Cardinals 49ers, or Bucks Saints. And Cardinals 49ers is a good game to watch. But yeah, don't know why this
But
wasn't.
it's not Breeze Brady.
Yeah, because Breeze Brady, 2 of the top 5, maybe even top 3, depending on who you talk to, greatest quarterbacks to play the game. So I do think most people will tune into that game, although I am going to be flipping between that and the Cardinals 49ers, and I might watch a smidge of the Bengals game just to see Joe Burrow. Maybe I'll watch that first, just if they have the ball first, just to see his first drive, and then
Watch NFL Red Zone. Shows you everything.
True. I could do that too.
Picture in picture.
Our picture in picture too. Have a couple TVs lined up. Do what my uncle does. Have like 5 TVs just lined up with all the games on it. But we'll see. So now we go to our Sunday night football game, which is the Cowboys going to the Rams. We're going to get our first look of the new stadium that is in Los Angeles, like actually with a game going on there, not just pictures and whatnot. So I'm going to start with Matt here. Who do you got between the Cowboys and the Rams?
I'm going to go with America's team. I'm going to put that in parentheses. Okay. I think the Cowboys will win.
All right.
Just leave it at that.
Right. All
leave it at that.
Now we'll go Jacob, and then we'll go to me, and then we'll have our last 2 games.
I'm going to go with the Rams.
Ooh.
Mainly because I hate the Cowboys. But secondly, because they're opening up a brand new stadium. They didn't have the greatest year last year, and a lot of people are saying Sean McVay, hey, maybe he's not the great coach we thought he was. Maybe Jared Goff is the horrible quarterback we thought he was. So this is a team that has a lot to prove. Plus, again, that line for Dallas has slipped. They lost their center. Their best tackle keeps getting injured. And Aaron Donald is going to have a heyday with that.
Absolutely. I'm actually going to side with Jacob here. I got the Rams winning this too. I do hate the Cowboys. However, I just don't think the Cowboys are as good as everybody says. Every time you go look at power rankings or you look at people giving out their predictions, who are the best teams? The Cowboys are always on there, and I just don't understand why. Their defense isn't quite as good as last year. They did lose Byron Jones. And their defense just didn't perform great last year, too. I think Dak is a good quarterback, but I just, especially with a new head coach in there, like I said, with whole Brady thing and whatnot, and with the Panthers, I don't think they're going to start off looking like this great team, if they even are, because I don't think they are. And honestly, Ezekiel Elliott, really good, but I don't think he's great. You know what I mean? I don't think he's a top 5. Well, top 3. I'll go top 3. I think he's in the top 5, but not top 3 running back in the league. I thought he had a great first year. Second year, obviously didn't play. If at all, he might have played like a couple games that year, if I'm not mistaken. And then third year, pretty good year, but didn't deserve all the money he got, I don't think. But they do add CeeDee Lamb, which is, going to help the Cowboys offense, I think, with the receiving end. But like Jacob said, their offensive line isn't as good. They lost some key pieces, so I'm going to give the Rams the win. I think they're going to figure it out this year. I think Jared Goff is going to have a better year because if I'm not mistaken, they did start off as a run-heavy offense, and then when the Rams went back to that passing offense, they did look better. So I think he wants to prove that, hey, I did, deserve the money I got. I don't think he deserved that much, but I do think he's a good quarterback. Not great, but I think he's a good quarterback, and I think Jalen Ramsey, obviously being there, is going to help the defense. I know he was there last year, but I think now with him being in the system, for a little bit now, I think, he's going to be better there. And, of course, it's hard to stop Aaron Donald. Darnold. I was comparing Sam Darnold and Aaron Donald together.
Yeah.
Fun. So there's that. Now we go to our Monday night games. The first Monday night game is the Steelers going to the Giants. That is stupid. This should have been Buccaneers Saints. Put this game at that 4:00 slot. This is dumb, but whatever. It happened. It is what it is. We're going to go with Matt here.
Do we really have to talk about this? Really, do we have to?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's gonna win. We all know what's gonna happen. We're all gonna agree on that. Let's move on.
Okay. Now we go to Jacob.
I would love to say that Pittsburgh is going to win this, but
Whoa!
There's always a but.
nothing.
Nah.
No. So, fun fact: my family just did our fantasy draft earlier today, and my little sister picked Daniel Jones as her second quarterback. And I'm like, "Are you serious?" No. Saquon might have a good game, but Big Ben is going to just come up with his new robotic arm.
Are we gonna
Juju's?
Are they gonna finally reveal that he's a Terminator and just
Yes.
cut his arm off and just
Let him run over everybody.
So you go, I eliminated John Connor, and then I got his brother James, and out of revenge, he is running the football for me. Yes.
All right.
So yeah,
So-
Steelers are gonna win this.
All right. So I always stick to my guns by what I predicted in the preseason. Like I said, I have the Giants finishing ahead of the Cowboys second in that division. Like I said, I had the Eagles winning. Then I got the Giants at second. I think Daniel Jones will have a not great year, but a pretty good year. I think enough to potentially get them in the playoff conversation, maybe even in the playoffs. Barkley, like him a lot, really good running back. Defense did get better. Joe Judge, first time coach. It's an issue. However, I do have them finishing second in the league. But I have the Steelers winning the NFC or the AFC North. So I'm going to go with the Steelers. I think Big Ben's going to come back. He's going to have a huge year. He's going to maybe not get to like his best, years, but I think he's going to get as close as possible. He does have Jesus on his side now. So if if you're into that stuff, then have faith in Big Ben. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Steelers winning. But I do think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a pretty good game, but still should not have been a Monday Night Football game. It should have either been the Cowboys, Rams, or the Bucks and the Saints. But that's just me. Or you could have replaced it with this last shitty game. We have the Titans going up against the Broncos to finish off week 1. I kid. This is, I'll get into my thoughts here. But we did start off with Matt last time, so we're going to go to Jacob. I did that purposely. So Matt would have to wait. So Jacob, who do you got?
Because Matt, you can't have two favorite teams. You have to pick
Oh.
one. Jesus Christ. Are you a child? Are you a child? I do not trust Ryan Tannehill. Just
Ooh.
because I watched him at Texas A&M. It was crappy. I watched him in Miami. A lot more crap than he was good. Stupid phone, quit falling. There we go. That's what I get for Matt. You're doing this because I'm making fun of your quarterback.
I am. My telepathic
Yes.
Adam
powers.
Gase was like, how dare you talk about a team that I coached being bad?
Yes. If this game was in Tennessee, I'd have different opinions on it. Denver, it's such a different environment. I don't know if Derrick Henry has played in Denver before, but you get to the altitude. I mean, they call it Mile High for a reason. And the Broncos just play differently. Plus, Drew Lock ended the year amazingly. I see him. I see him being a top tier quarterback eventually one of these days. I do see the Broncos barely by two scores winning this game.
Okay. So we'll go to Matt. You know, why do you have the Broncos winning?
Because they're going to choke on their own dick, and they're not even going to make it to the field. Tennessee's just going to pick up the ball. Derrick Henry's going to pick up the ball. He's going to run it. He's going to set it down in the end zone. Then they're going to go back to the 20 or the 25, because don't forget that we started at the 25 now. And they're going to hand the ball back to Derrick Henry, and he's going to run it all the way down, and he's going to get in the end zone again. He's going to set it down. Then they're going to give the ball back again, and he's going to run it down. And he's going to spend the whole game running laps. Obviously, if anybody knows me, I am a diehard Titans fan. I root for the Cardinals because I was born and raised in Arizona, but I am a diehard Tennessee Titans fan. So why do you even have to ask?
All right. So I'm going to go next. So I got the Broncos.
Jacob.
No, so I give the Titans a lot of shit because, I don't like the Titans. Well, I honestly don't care about the Titans much because, like I said, Colts usually have their way against them. Last year, they went 1-1. They split the series, whatever. But, the Broncos, I'm going to pick them. Drew Lock, I really do like him a lot. I think he has what it takes to be a really good quarterback in the league. I don't think he's going to be like an MVP or whatever, but I do fucking bugs. I do enjoy him a lot. Plus they add Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler for him to throw to, so he's got more weapons. The defense is still good. They don't have to worry about Joe Flacco anymore. Plus it's in Denver.
Did beat them last year in Mile High. Just pointing that out.
Wait, who?
Tennessee did beat the Broncos last season in Mile High.
Right, but
Thank you for waiting to say this now.
Correct.
It wouldn't have changed your pick anyway.
But was that against Drew Lock or Joe Flacco?
Yeah, that
was the game he got benched.
So yeah, that was no, because Joe Flacco played against the Colts.
That's right. You're right.
And last year, fun fact, the Titans actually lost 16-0 to the Broncos. They were 2-4 at that point.
That's
this
right.
was when Mariota was.
That's when Mariota was around. You're right. I do.
So
yeah.
They are 0-1.
Because I do forget about the fact that Mariota played last year.
But like Jacob, I don't trust Ryan Tannehill. Derrick Henry is a top 2 running back in the league. It's either him or McCaffrey as the best running back in the league. He really is. He finally had that year where he had, where he looked like what we thought he was going to be coming out of college. But you can run with Derrick Henry a lot, but Kansas City showed in that AFC Championship game, if you take Derrick Henry out, and Denver can do that. They have the defense to do it. Ryan Tannehill is not going to get you the win.
And you know me, I'll be the first to admit you're right. I mean, Tannehill, either he's on or he's not.
Yeah, and
there's no milking it. Either he's on or he's not.
Yeah, and look, it's and playing in Denver.
Don't forget who we just picked up.
Yeah, but is he gonna give more than 50% of the effort on most of the plays? Besides like 1 or 2, that you gotta hope.
Play.
Yeah, true. Because there's a chance he doesn't play because he is just signing. He is coming in. They might want to sit him back for a week and not rush him into it. If I was Vrabel, I would be like, look, you're going to sit out this week. That way you can have an actual good amount of time to prep for this game coming up. And even if he started, I would still give Denver the win. It's not going to be a blowout or anything. I think when it comes down to it, I'm looking at who's the better quarterback because you got to have the better quarterback to win. Most of the time. You might have those weird games where you have like a Phillip Rivers and the Chargers last year, to where he had nothing, and he might have been the best quarterback in a game, but they still lost because the Chargers were injured and their offensive line sucks, and they didn't have Melvin Gordon at the time, and Eckler, he was playing really good, but he, there wasn't a whole lot there.
We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this come Tuesday.
Right.
After. We'll talk about this.
Yeah, we'll talk about this after the Monday games are done. We'll talk about it next week for sure, and we'll get another episode up for you guys for week 2. But I am going to give the win to Denver. I just think Denver is a better team at the end of the day. I think when you look at I think they have defenses are about the same. Maybe Tennessee has a slightly better defense because it is a little younger. But I do think offensively the Broncos are better. I think they have the better quarterback. They do have Melvin Gordon, coming in. And if Melvin Gordon wants to prove that, hey, I'm worth all this money, he's going to, have a really good year. If he just doesn't care, then whatever. But I do think I would give the Broncos a slight edge receiving wise, just for weapons for them to throw to. I don't think it's going to be like 31-0, but I do have the Broncos winning by like 7 to 10 points. So that is going to do it for week 1. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for us this week. So what we'll do is Kevin, he didn't come on the show. And I believe Alec is going to do this too. He wasn't on today as well. They're going to submit their picks. So what we'll do next week before we actually give our week 2 predictions, if there's anything significant that happened news-wise after week 1, say Bill O'Brien proves that he's a clown once again, then, we'll talk about that.
Tom Brady breaks all 10 toes.
If Tom Brady breaks all 10 toes, we'll talk about how Nikki got down there to watch that game.
Stepping off the bus. He's going to do it not even on the field. He's going to be getting off the bus at the game and just step down and go.
Right. Yeah, something. But no, what we'll do next week, we'll talk about some news that happened from the past week in the NFL, if we miss anything, or if anything happens between now and I guess next Monday, Tuesday, whenever we record. We'll discuss all that. We'll give the results from this week as far as the picks, see who has the better record pick wise, and then we'll go into week 2 and give our predictions real quick, and then we'll go from there. We're all going to be pretty close either way because there's only a few games where we were indifferent, so there's that. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us real quick. So we're going to start off with Matt because he is right next to me on the top screen right over there. So Matt, where can the people find you?
Here. Oh wait.
Yeah, that's mine.
Let's see. Thursday night, Suplex City. Saturday nights after dark. This week we will have JTE joining us. Repeat that, Matty G. JTE will be with us. Repeat it one more time. Yes, JTE will be joining us. Sunday we should be back with Movie Mania. And over on TMG Trivia, I'm kind of spearheading the singles division. If you want a singles match, reach out to me, myself, Papa, everybody else. We all kind of run it together. So, yes, indeed. And Game Zone. Game Zone's coming back. Our champion needs somebody new to beat up on. Because I don't really want to see Papa versus Nikki 3. I mean, if we have to, we have to. So reach out to me.
If he had a chance of winning, it'd be exciting. But
yeah, he's almost beat you before. Remember, remember, buddy boy, you have been beaten.
I have been beaten, yes, but not by Nikki.
No, but we'll go to Jacob real quick. Jacob, where can the people find you?
Yeah, you can find me all over TMG Entertainment. I partake in all the leagues. I'm a champion in 2 of them. That would be Game Zone and Sports Brawl, and I do run late TV fights. But then also you can find me at TMG Trivia. Yes, we have a trivia channel. I help run teams, so if you don't want to be by yourself, if you want to have a nice partner to help you answer questions correctly, come hit me up. And just announced TMG Sports. Yep, we are finally doing sports trivia, which is starting up very soon with Alec versus Kevin. So again, if you want to partake in that, hit me up as well.
There we go.
And I am working on those questions, by the way. I just after the weekend I had, obviously.
Oh, you are fine. You are fine.
Say I might have to partake in that at some point.
Whoa!
But maybe.
Let's make it. Let's book it. Maddie versus beer.
Hey, let's do it.
Let's book it.
Do it. Look, I may forget a lot about movies and whatnot, but sports is definitely my number one when it comes to everything.
Beat you in movies, and you can beat me in
sports. Yeah, that's probably
that would probably be how it goes. And then what we'll do is we'll do a special for a opening of a Subrath pay-per-view, Maddie versus Matt sports movies.
I don't know, we can do like I don't know, what does Subrath watch as a sport over there? Cricket? You have a cricket match with him and somebody else? I don't know. We'll see. But
included.
Yeah. Hey, there we go. But you can find me though here. You can find me here on this channel. You can find me on After Dark. You can find me on Movie Mania. You can obviously find me here. And you can find me in other places from time to time. And if you need a match and you are interested in doing movie debates, shoot me a message. Don't expect me to answer right away because I don't get alerted when people that aren't friends of mine on Facebook have sent me a message. So it may take a couple days, but if you want to be competing in Movie Battleground, shoot me a message, and we'll see if we can get you a match at some point. And it might be a little bit, but we'll see what we can do. So, yeah, there we go. I think it's going to do it under 2 hours. That's a victory for me. I've been Matt. That's been Maddie. That's been Jacob. And you can catch us next time. Bye-bye.